So you start a next group now.
So it's the next group I start up now.
What is the umbrella it covering? What organizations it covering?
Well, it cover House of Dread. It cover EABIC, as in Obashanti Mansion. Very notably, one of the major Rastafari mansions. It covers School of Vision. It cover LPH, Leonard Percival Hall Foundation. It cover Root House. It cover Raga. And
it cover what? Raga House?
Raga is a Rastafari organization, not a mansion. So.
Which part? Hold on, much out of the loop, you know, Bridget. I'm going to get educated on this thing here. Which mansion is Rasta name Raga?
No, it's not a mansion. It's a Rastafari organization that deals with
where that is?
Supplemental rights. So
where an organization located?
Here in Jamdown.
No, where in Jamaica? Where?
Well, I mean, most ones from all over the island are members of Raga. So you have someone like First Man, right? One Marcus Goff is a member of Raga.
Okay.
Somebody called King.
So which part of the headquarters there? Where the headquarters there?
Raga, well, they meet at different persons. The meeting oscillates between the members at the yard of each.
You mean them not have no headquarters in that chance?
Specifically, Raga, they rotate. They don't have one major HQ, but by default, the base would be around by Marcus Scarf place, Yes.
All right, so this group that we are talking about now, we just have to argue.
So this group now, RMO, Rastafari Mansion Organization, has basically been having online meetings. So it meets on Zoom. So each constituent organization have 2 members that sit on the board of the RMO, Rastafari Mansion Organization. So the difference with this umbrella group now is it's truly...
Yeah, break up. Come on.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
All right, so the difference with this umbrella group is that the constituent houses or Rastafari organizations have 2 members. 2 of them members sit on the actual executive board of the RMO. So that means that the executive board truly represents all of the constituent Rastafari organizations directly. That never used to happen with the previous organization we had talked to. You and me.
You mentioned the Ethiopian World Federation and the 12 Tribe of Israel.
No, they're not members. They're not members at this present time.
Why? Why are they not members?
Well, the 12 Tribe I can speak to, want to observe and see how things proceed with the RMO. Based on the bad experience they had with the previous umbrella group. And that is quite understandable. So once they see that this organization now is conducting itself in a manner which is reflecting the wishes of the constituent groups and representing the groups as they want to be represented, then I'm sure they'll come on board.
Okay. So what is it that is the objective of this council? What is the objective?
Well, the objective is multidimensional, but primarily it is to agitate for the matter of internal reparations is one thing, because while the case and by internal reparations, I mean seeking to right the wrongs committed against the Rastafari movement by the Jamaican state in the past. So, for instance, to some extent, the Coral Gardens atrocity has been addressed by the Jamaican government.
One to that organization, don't want to go be that I deal with the elders.
Well, they're still going, and actually that organization...
No, I mean, them is a part of the umbrella.
They are part of the umbrella group. The Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society are very much a member, and being a very supportive member of the RMO group. And as I said, they have negotiated, we are still in negotiating with the Jamaican government, and that, to a large extent, has been addressed, the Coral Gardens atrocity. But then you have other atrocities, such as the bulldozing of Baka Wall in 1966, where the Rastafari who live in that area had their dwellings bulldozed down and lost all them personal property, and there's been no redress for that. Back a while. Then we still have the issue of Pinnacle, which is unresolved at this present time. You know, so in terms of satisfactory redress, particularly the Holites, a few of whom are still alive, the original Holites who were evicted unceremoniously from Pinnacle, you know, along with Leonard Howell in the late 50s. So, and I can tell you directly that the children of Leonard Howell, who I'm very much in touch with, would like some redress for what they feel the trauma, you know, they have suffered. So particularly Billy Howell and Monty Howell, they were relatively old. Monty was 17 and Billy was like 16 when they were evicted. So they're still traumatized by that eviction, being evicted from Pinnacle, which they grew up at. Billy was actually born in Pinnacle and grew there, and Monty was 1 year old when Leonard Howell moved his followers to Pinnacle in 1940.
The other day, I go over Chadilla Park and
yes.
Everybody will meet them related to oil. Everybody. No, I'm saying everybody not about everybody, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. Everybody's related. That's like when you go to YouTube, everybody related to Haile Selassie.
Well, you know, I mean, he does have some, you know, there are some relatives who genuinely live there, but you know, maybe some people are obviously pushing the boundaries.
All right.
Yeah, but you have a few Holites there who are up in them late 80s who can remember, you know,
history. They have the history.
Yeah,
we could get back to the organization.
Yes. So
they have presidents and all them something. Who's the president for the organization?
Right. So all we do it now, we change up, we think outside the box, and we have 3 persons occupy each administrative role. So you don't just have one chairperson, you have 3 chairpersons, and that rotates. You have 3 secretaries, or 3 persons who deal with the secretariat work of the organizations. You have 3 treasurers, 3 people in the treasury who deal with the money and the finances, and so forth. We have 3 PR officers. I'm one of the PR officers for the organization. So that the workload is shared on one case, and then you don't have an overly authoritarian type of dynamic that might exist, you know, because some people can get addicted to power, you know, and everything like that, and then you get an authoritarian type of organization. So we're trying to avoid those kind of dynamics, you know.
Yeah. So the organization, how is it funded? How the organization get funded?
Well, the great thing is that many of the constituent Rastafari organizations are very entrepreneurial, and so that we have had thus far the funds to hold this event, which I want to talk more about, that's coming on Sunday, launch event, are coming from the actual members themselves. So, you know, some people would throw in a 50,000 Jamaican and maybe some 40, and, you know, each organization throwing in these contributions and pool it together. Then we can do bigger things, you know. So we have organizations there who are entrepreneurial, that they generate funds independently, and then they pool those funds together, and that's how we're funded at this point in time, self-funded internally from the Constituent organization.
Right. You said Constituent, it sounds like each group have a different portion of place where them control in the island, and given the atmosphere, you know, of politics, and we see different people, I say, they want to deal with a new way of looking upon Jamaica constitutionally. How the umbrella organization approach that?
Well, we're dealing with right now just the dynamic of Rastafari in Jamaica as it exists in Jamaica. So we're not really involved in this constitutional reform.
So they have no idea about what they want to say about the constitution in Jamaica as a group.
We do have we have perspectives on that, but that has not been our primary focus.
Yeah, to that Michael Barnett about, I don't know, can I say new organization, umbrella organization, Rasta?
Yeah, man, there's a new, the RMO.
How long it conceive? How long it conceive?
Conceive about a year and a half now.
A
year and a half, yeah, man.
First my about it.
Yeah, well, we just take our time and put things together.
Well, who's us, by the way? Who's us? When you say us, who's us?
This is the Cutting Edge Sidewalk University. No indoctrination, education. 3 decades. Long time. The Cutting Edge. Lyrics like a bazooka. Fighting. Hold it up. Politics. Religion. All sort of things. Education. Redemption.
The various mansions.
Yeah, man, I know, but you say us, you involved. Which mansion you belong to?
I belong to the Leonard Personal House Foundation. So
okay, so when you say us now, we know you're talking about
collectively, the member organizations that make up the RMO. So
no, I know, but you just remember you mentioned Gaff a while ago as an individual who got them remember organization with them.
I said he is part of Raga, but also Raga is one of the Rastafari member organizations of the RMO. So I was just trying to give you a sense of the diversity of Rastafari.
Yeah, I know you as an individual and Gaff as an individual. Yeah. Who are the individuals that make up these organizations? That's what I ask.
Well, I mean, there's so many that I could mention. I can't go through the whole list.
No, you don't have to go through. Just call somebody name them. No, we want to hear the name them and the people them. I mean, why are they not a secret organization?
Well, no, but yeah, Sister Nanny, if I name an organization like RG, Rastafari Benevolent.
Yeah, we know them organization.
So you have Sister Nanny is then a member of the RMO, being that she's a member of that organization, which is a member of the RMO, and then you have also like I said, consists of First Man and consists of King Kamau, and you have some people who are members of more than one organization. For instance, notably, First Man is a member of Rastafari Indigenous Village as well as Raga. So, and both of them are member organizations of the Rastafari Mansions and Organization grouping. Mm-hmm. So, the reality is, you have Empress of Zion, Queen Mother Moses, who heads up Empress of Zion. So, she's a member. And, the list goes on. I mean, what those organizations that want to see Rastafari make genuine headway in terms of striving for, greater veracity in the Jamaican society, a greater level of respect and so forth. See the benefit of being part of an umbrella group that can do that. Yeah? Because what we have is different organizations that each doing their own thing. And it's just as Malcolm X himself said, is that, one finger can do so much, but when you put those fingers together and you roll them up together, you have power in that, So the unity is strength, and that's why our launch day has been themed Rastafari Unity Day, because that is really what we're defending at this point.
Anti-Rasta only fight is because of the Constitution were built up around the European British idea of what is what and what is not. And Rasta has gone through a lot of it, persecution, because of this Constitution. The organization that you talk about, not in there as it relates to what the organization would like to see change in the Constitution to facilitate the freedom of Rastafari as it relates to the things them that has been used to persecute Rasta over the years.
Well, I mean, there are some key issues like, with a decolonization of the framework of the Constitution. It's going to be along the lines of Rastafari of the United States involved, much closer relations with Africa, for instance. having stronger trading relations with African states. And
no, hold on. That's not in the Constitution. Trading with African states not in the Constitution.
No, it's not in the Constitution.
No, we're not talking about things where was fashioned and designed to persecute Rastafari over the years.
Yeah, but
when I say the organization no true originally up more in the conversation. I ask you about the Constitution and thing, and you have to say, well, it's like you shun it. It's like you say, well, we now deal with that, That is basically the way that I say.
But what I'm saying is not the primary focus.
No, we know, but you see, there are a lot of things that Rastafari need right now, and that of freedom and movement that Rastafari need now, is intertwined in the Constitution as persecution.
Yes.
So why is it that the umbrella organization wouldn't really pinpoint some of these things and present it as a Rastafari point of view? To say, we can use that point of view to get into what we call now the Constitution, that, for instance, the Nzinga debacle will take place 2 years ago. All these things is still on the board of persecution for Rasta. So why is it that, since they talk about Constitution, why an umbrella group of Rastafari wouldn't be interested to make sure, say, a lot of things that has been shown at Rastafari over the years is not shown at Rastafari after them say Constitution, reform, or Constitution, whatever they call it?
Well, the approach that the organization is taking at this point in time is to agitate against, discrimination against black hair, which would fall under the, not just in Zinga King, but the case of the high school, what's the name of the young girl who got persecuted in 2020, the primary school, escapes me right now. But so you have discrimination still taking place against African hairstyle period at the schools, which is an issue that organizations will naturally agitate for, but not in terms of specifically tackling the constitutional reform now. That is an issue that will gather momentum ultimately, and is gathering momentum, but we're not taking a direct head-on approach on the constitutional reform, but agitating of issues that emanate due to the colonial structure in and of itself. So, generally speaking, decolonizing.
But the Constitution is part of the colonial system.
Yeah, it is part of it, but it's not the only. It's a very important part. So if you call them generally for decolonization of all social structures in the society, then the Constitution is one integral part of it, but it's not the only thing, is it?
So what is the formula? What is the formula the organization set up to really attack that?
Well, it would be to bring the strong aspect of decolonizing the entire society on every single social structure. So the real message of Rastafari is basically decolonizing our minds, right?
No, hold on, Barnett. It seems as if you talk and I say the things them and I think about them as you go on to find an answer as you go on. When I talk about your idea as you go on based off of what I ask, I talk about is there a set of regulations and rules in this organization that is going to deal with these things as a legitimate fight against colonialism, not just where you are saying, what you are saying to me or your answer is not a part of the fight for the organization. No, it's just you attack what you feel.
The fight for organization movement, as I say, put it in a press release that you may not have seen.
I don't see nothing about the organization.
Yeah, in a press release, man, we sent it to one of the Irish then.
When you send it?
I sent it earlier today.
No, but we just come with it. Probably there.
You just come in.
Move on the other side of the world, when I say to you that I ask you no, why not ask? We just send for Irene.
So I'm going to try and answer your question.
Yeah.
What I'm saying to you is that organization seeks to address all areas in which Rastafari have been discriminated against, such as still not able to exercise their full sacramental rights, the use of the holy herb, the issue of stigmatization, of that still exists for Rastafari going into certain areas of the, certain public institutions, especially the schools, the issue of back a wall, redress for that. So in all areas that Rastafari has suffered persecution and stigmatization, that is the primary focus of the movement. So as we go along and we address these issues, then, issues in terms of the social frameworks that exist that actually perpetuate this system of discrimination will inevitably have to be tackled. So the Constitution, as you brought up very rightly, is one of the areas that props up some of these areas of discrimination. But it's basically to try and break down the existing barriers and the existing frameworks that exist as far as possible that have a direct impact on Rastafari for the way they choose to live their lives, the ideological outlook, because right now, by thinking African and celebrating one's Africanness, can also put one at a disadvantage as anti-intuitive as it might be in a predominantly country populated by people of African ancestry. The thinking is that being African, celebrating Africanness puts you at a disadvantage. So some people say that now we're not a Ashiki, then now we're African clothes, have to wear a jacket and tie and this and that. We're taken seriously. All those areas we have to tackle and address. Yes?
Yeah, man, I hear you, man.
So I'm saying, though, that I was wanting to clear, they're not pinpointed and going straight at the Constitution, how it must be reformed or whatever, but indirectly, that's going to come into the mix, because that in itself, as you quite rightly pointed out, perpetuates some of these systems of discrimination which exist.
So what is it that the organization is pinpointing now? What is the organization pinpointing now?
So I said the issue of sacramental rights.
Ganja.
Rastafari, yeah?
Ganja.
Ganja.
Yeah.
Also, we are agitating for Rastafari to have equal access to this lucrative ganja industry, which Rastafari do not have at this point in time. And in fact, because of the persecution that Rastafari have suffered for the use of ganja prior to it being decriminalized, we're actually arguing that Rastafari should get some special consideration, such as licensing fees being waived and all of this stuff, to be able to enter the ganja industry. Because if you don't have that financial packative, you disadvantage, So these are considerations that we wish to address, basically.
But that was being addressed. It wasn't being addressed by IFV and whosoever. I mean, what happened to that trust that was happening during... That
trust is continuing. It's still continuing. But what's happening is the RMO now envelops that. The IFV is very much active in the RMO, as you mentioned, IFV. So it's not necessarily... So what has happened is others have joined in that fight that IFV has been fighting along from the RMO. Yeah, so it's but all will be made clear at the launch event, and this, I want people to come to the launch event to get many of the questions answered, because we're going to have a question and answer session there, as well as a ratification process, a signing process, the launch event, which will be at Peacemakers Association this coming Sunday. Peacemakers Association, that was formed the African Reformed Church under Claudius Henry, is at 19 Mile, Green Bottom, Clarendon. For those who hopefully are somewhat familiar with Clarendon. But that is where we're going to have the event, the launch event for the RMO, and we're calling it the Rastafari Unity Day. There will be musical selections by Bread Locks, cultural musical selections, roots reggae, let me emphasize. And we'll also have drumming presentations. We'll have the EABIC, Baba Shanti drumming. Then we'll have drumming from the Nyabingi Order. We'll have drumming from the Peacemakers Association themselves. We'll have drumming from Priest Fagan School of Vision. So you'll get assortment of the different type of Rastafari drumming, all at one venue. And there will also be ital food and drinks, and most of this will be free and accessible, to the general public. So we call it a Rastafari Unity Day, and it's open to the general public.
So why don't charge? Why don't charge for going there? Why don't charge?
Because in the spirit of oneness and so forth, and
So if you charge, not in the spirit of oneness. If you charge,
no, well,
Rasta need money,
Yeah, we need money.
Yeah, man. So why you saying the spirit of?
For the Unity Day, we're not going to tax people's pockets.
No, I'm just ask why. Why? Yeah. It's a moral thing. What is it? What is it that you say you're not going to charge? Why?
Because it's about hospitality.
You break up.
I said we're exercising hospitality to the max. Like if you decide to have a gathering, a social gathering at your house, and people come in and then eat of your food and you drink.
No, that's my birthday party. That if any other thing, I'll make people pay for that.
See. Well, call it like the birthday. This is the initial launch. So call it our birthday party then.
Yeah, I just throw it out, still, I mean, just throw it out,
All right.
Just try to figure out, why you wouldn't do that.
Why I wouldn't do that?
Yeah, I know you say why. You say why. You don't have to go around the car. You say why, man. Yeah. All right, so this is when? This Sunday? When is it?
This Sunday, the 27th of August.
Okay.
Sunday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. So I want to emphasize it's a daytime thing, not a nighttime thing. So I want people coming at it, 7 hours expecting like a dance to go on till midnight. But no, it's a daytime, so come in the afternoon, come early and full joy.
That is where I value keeping birthday the other day, right?
Right. Same venue. You got to do it. Yeah, man. So,
yeah, man. All right, give thanks, Bridget. Give thanks. Yeah, man. All right. Yeah, that was Dr. Michael Barnett talking about this new umbrella organization that has been found by different houses coming together as an umbrella organization to see what they can do to advance the welfare of Rastafari. Interviewing the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. And there's two things him do or say that really fascinate me. Two things. One, him declare Emancipation Day 3 months of celebration. 3 months. Starting from July, August, September. Two, him say Rasta should have a part in the lucrative ganja industry because of the persecution that Rastafari got through over the years. Now, this is Jamaica. This is where all the way him talk about emanate from. This place here. Yet still, Rasta have to fight tooth and nail to get a little fingernail into just respect. You don't have to love me, but respect is due. I demand it. And I think every Rasta should have demand that because of what the history of Rasta has shown us in Jamaica and other parts of the world. Rastafari, without any church, without any temple, without any school, has spread its wings over the world at a quicker pace than the length of time that Islam and Christianity took. And we never fight no war and kill nobody to spread it. And if you look at the two major Western religions, them, Christianity and Islam, most of it was because of forcing that religion and those two religions and the people and creating havoc and the societies that them infiltrate. Rastafari has been here from 1930. and beyond. And we don't wage no war. We don't take up no gun or no sword. But we have been able to use our cultural expression that define us, because right now, even gotta get fade away by certain ones. The culture of Rastafari I take back burner. Yes. That is the thing that propel Rastafari, the cultural expression. Because more people will accept the culture in the world right now than accept the, what we call the religious aspect of Rastafari. Because people have a whole heap of God in the earth. But the cultural expression is the mainstay of Rastafari. Ones and ones out there, whether them a Roman picnic, or them a Austrian picnic, or them an American picnic, them gravitate to Rastafari cultural expression faster than the religious aspect of it. We have to see that. We have to see it. And we never have to pick up no gun and throw nobody off of no building or cut off nobody's head to drive fear in them about it. Word sound have power. Serious thing.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.
This is Mutabaruka. We want to present to you a wholesome kind of level of consciousness right now. So subscribe and tell your friend them. This is Mutabaruka.